What we have here is my Athearn ready to run SD45 T-2. Now, normally the newer ones would come with a Soundtraxx Economy decoder, but I upgraded this one, and actually it's an older one. I upgraded it to an ESU LokSound5 decoder, and what I want you to focus in on is the startup characteristics after I give it throttle and how it moves. Okay, I'm going to give it throttle. Did you notice that? Very prototypical. The engine fired up, and then there was about a 3-second lag and it took off. So I'll do it in reverse. I'll do the same thing. Now watch. Give it some throttle. Engine revs up, and then it starts to move. There's a few second lag. That's very prototypical. And what would be expected, in the real thing, because the real thing is hauling tons and tons, thousands of tons of freight. So stop it. What we have here now is another Athearn ready to run SD45 T-2. But I bought this one several years ago, and it has the Economy, or the Soundtraxx Economy decoder. Now, what I want you to pay attention to is its startup characteristics. So I'm going to give it a little throttle now. And see the difference? There's really no lag. Maybe it's just for like a split second. I'll do it in reverse. Okay, I'll do the same thing in reverse. Now watch. Give it a little throttle, and it instantly takes off. Still has nice sound, nice driving characteristics. Let me hit the horn for you. And there you go. So what I just demonstrated to you is the difference between the LokSound5 and the Soundtraxx Economy decoder, and that would also go for the Soundtraxx Tsunami 2. They both have different operating characteristics. Both Athearn SD45 T-2 ready to runs, but again, the only difference is the decoder. So what I've confirmed, and I've actually confirmed it twice, and I'll show you up on the screen. Unfortunately, you cannot take a Soundtraxx decoder and match its startup characteristics with the LokSound5. If you want to match, the LokSound5 with a Soundtraxx Economy or Tsunami 2, you're going to have to basically, for lack of a better term, turn off all the cool startup stuff, all the prototypical engine revving, lag, and then it moves. And then you could speed match it, both decoders, after that. However, it's not really speed matching, because if you consisted both locomotives together, let's say the Soundtraxx equipped loco was in the front and you gave it throttle, well, the Soundtraxx equipped loco is going to start dragging your LokSound5 equipped loco. That's not good. You may not hear it dragging because of the sound of the loco, but it's going to be dragging the loco. Now, if the Soundtraxx equipped loco was behind the LokSound5 loco, then we give it throttle, it's going to push it for a few seconds until it gets up to the part where they're speed matched. So I don't think that's really practical, and I don't think it's a good idea. So that kind of leaves you, if you have a multi-loco fleet, various digital command control decoders. You could have Soundtraxx, you could have LokSound5, you could have the TCS Wow sound, and they're all going to be a little different. They're all going to have different characteristics. Now, with the LokSound5 and the Soundtraxx, again, if you want them all to run together and consist them, you're going to have to take off or shut off the initial startup characteristics of the LokSound5. Which, if you want to do that, fine, but I think that's unfortunate, because I think that's a really cool thing it does. Now, the second option would be
well, just kind of ignore it and system kind of speed match them to the best of your ability and just kind of ignore the fact. And then you'll be pushing or pulling the LokSound5 decoder as it begins to start up. The next option would be to standardize on one decoder for your entire fleet. Now with that, if your fleet is already equipped with decoders, that's going to be pricey. You know, it might be something that you want to do. If you want the cool LokSound stuff, the cool starting up, then you'd upgrade all your locos to LokSound5. Or if you're happy with the Soundtraxx, then you would upgrade all of your locos with the Soundtraxx decoder. There's one thing I'm concerned about though. For example, the Scale Trains locos have some very interesting features, and one of them is the classification lights. I think it's function 5. You hit function 5 once, they turn on white. You hit it again, they're green. You hit it again, they're red. You hit function 5 again, then they're off. I don't know if you swapped out your LokSound5 equipped Scale Trains loco, if you could program the Soundtraxx decoder to do that. I don't know, but that's something to consider. So the other option is to say, screw it, I'm just going to go DC. Now, one thing interesting about Team DC is they're like vegans. They like to let everyone know they're DC. Now, hold on before you get upset and take it personal. That was just a joke. But I will say this, as a side note. There will be videos on the internet about DC, about speed matching, whatever, speaker selection. And there always seems to be that one guy who cuts into the comment section who will say, well, I don't know about all that. I run DC. Again, there you go. But anyway, so there's a lot of options. So I would like to hear in the comment section, what would you do? Would you, if you wanted to have a mixed decoder, locos with mixed decoders, would you just back off the LokSound, just back off its starting characteristics and just speed match them? Or would you standardize on one decoder ecoverse, or I don't know, whatever you want to call it, Soundtraxx, TCS LockSound, or LokSound5? Or would you just ignore them, kind of speed match them, and ignore the startup characteristics of the LokSound and have them kind of be pushed or pulled? So again, in the comment section, what would you do? Again, there is a case to be made for DC. Basically, all your locomotives, they're pretty much speed matched with DC because you can't do anything else to them. So they're speed matched, whether they're a little bit off or not. And there's less cost with that. And when you wire your layout, you have the old school toggle switches for blocks, you have the common rail, but it's cheaper. So, but for me, I like the sound, I like all the fun you can do with it, the playing around with the options and the functions and seeing the lights, turning out the lights on and off, and so I like that. So again, let me know what you guys think. Go in the comment section below. We'll talk to you later.